friends and clients. I am Jennifer Walker Gates with Walker Gates Villa, immigration attorneys in Austin, Texas. I'm here today. I am thrilled to share some great news with all of you regarding the U visa program. As many of you know, Walker Gates Villa has been involved in filing lawsuits and working to pressure immigration to change the way that they were adjudicating U visa applications. This was because the program had become extremely backlogged with many thousands of applications. Currently, there are 150,000 U visa applications pending, and there's a limit of 10,000 applications per year that can be granted for U visas. So what this means is that many people are waiting many years for their U visas. And the law has long authorized, since 2008, the law has authorized immigration to give people work permits while waiting for their U visa to be adjudicated. However, the Immigration Service was not applying this law. They weren't following this law. They weren't issuing work permit applications to people until about a year before they were doing the final adjudication of the U visa. So for this reason, our clients were waiting years and years and years for a simple work permit so that they could get their social security number, get their driver's license, have some kind of proof that they have status in the United States, and begin to heal from the trauma of the crime they had suffered through the sense of security and stability that they were able to create with their work authorization cards. Now, USCIS has just announced that they're completely reconfiguring the process for how they adjudicate U visas so that people who file U visas can go ahead and get their deferred action status and their work permits right away. This is probably going to take now about 4 to 6 weeks after filing. That is what we anticipate for people to be able to get their work permits under this new program. So I'm going to share a presentation with you that I have created and developed so that I can explain a little bit better the history of this situation and exactly what's going to happen going forward. Okay, so as I was saying, the history of the U visa program is such that, like, when it first began, it was created in the year 2000. Regulations were finally issued in the year 2007. And when we first began filing for clients under the U visa program, it was approximately 2005, 2006. We had to file lawsuits during that time to get the Immigration Service to issue the regulations to allow for these applications to be filed. Okay, so there is a history with this program of the Immigration Service not taking it seriously. However, we filed applications beginning in about 2005, 2006, and then the regulations were issued, and we continued to tweak and refine and have the forms from immigration and the proper procedures in place and outlined. And at first, these applications were taking about 6 to 9 months to be granted. People who filed for U visas were given the U visa within a year. And this was such an important program because, unlike many other parts of the immigration law, the U visa contains waivers for things like multiple unlawful entries, immigration fraud, even if it's minor, like a false claim to U.S. citizenship, that can bar someone permanently under other areas of the immigration law. But U visas had the opportunity to seek a waiver for these kinds of issues. And so it became a really great benefit for many of our clients who had unfortunately suffered crime, which does happen a lot to the immigrant community in this country, for them to be able to turn that terrible experience into something positive for themselves and their family, to be able to experience stability and security, having lawful work authorization and lawful status, and be able to move forward with their healing and with their lives. However, once the visas became very backlogged, those benefits stopped being issued. So a lot of people were not getting anything for many years after filing for a U visa. Now, we were involved in trying to be solution-oriented with respect to this problem. We were trying to pressure Congress. We tried to pressure the Obama administration We worked with advocates from around the country to pressure the Obama administration's immigration service to make changes in the way they were adjudicating these cases so that our clients wouldn't have to wait so long for their U visa work permits. However, we were not able to get anywhere, so we began filing lawsuits. Walker Gates Vela, we filed our first lawsuit in 2019 on behalf of 2 clients, and those clients were granted their work permits once the lawsuit was successful. Then we filed again in 2020 for another 8 clients, and that lawsuit was moved actually much faster. Immigration agreed to expedite work permit application adjudication for all of our clients that had participated in the lawsuit. So accordingly, we were getting ready to file another round of litigation when on Monday of this week, just 2 days ago, the Biden administration announced that they are changing the way that they adjudicate U visa adjudications. They have created a new process which they are calling Bona Fide Determinations. And I am going to explain a little bit about how the Bona Fide Determinations are going to work for U visa applicants. So what does this mean? A bona fide determination is simply it's a relatively quick review of a person's application to make sure that it's complete and correct, to take their biometrics and do a criminal history check to make sure they're not a dangerous person or that they don't pose some kind of serious risk to national security or public safety, and that they deserve what's called favorable discretion. Okay, so when a person turns in a U visa application, USCIS is going to check to make sure that that application has the correct signatures, that it has the correct forms, that it has a statement from the applicant, him or herself, about the nature of the crime, and most importantly, that it has the Form I-918B signed by a law enforcement agency. That has to be signed within 6 months of filing, and it has to be signed by a police officer, judge, or prosecutor who can confirm that the person was a victim of a crime and cooperated with them in the investigation and or prosecution of the crime. We are going to do another video about eligibility for the U visa that will go into more detail about how to qualify for the U visa. But for now, basically, we just want to know that immigration is going to check those U visa applications to make sure they're complete and correct. They're going to have the person go to an appointment to get their fingerprints taken and their photograph taken. If all of that is looking good, if it's complete and they don't have serious problems in their criminal history check, then USCIS is going to immediately issue a work permit for that person. If you do get a positive determination on your bona fide determination review, then you're going to get a work permit immediately. With that work permit, you can get your social security number. You can work lawfully. You can travel within the United States. You can qualify for a driver's license in every state in the United States. In addition, you'll also get a letter indicating that you have been granted deferred action, and that will allow you to prove that you have lawful status in the United States. It will be valid for 4 years. Now, this 4-year work permit is as long as it is because the U visa wait list is very long. The U visas themselves are unfortunately not going to move any faster until Congress either increases the number that can be granted every year or gets rid of the limit completely. That 10,000 per year limit remains in effect. So the actual U visa itself will continue to take a long time, but the work permit benefit will not continue to take a long time. This is going to be much faster now. Now, if you do need to renew after 4 years, you will be able to do that according to the new policy. Not everyone is going to be eligible to receive this bona fide determination work permit, okay? If you are a person who presents national security concerns or public safety concerns, you are not going to be granted this work permit right away. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to immediately deny your work permit, and your visa application, but we will go through a little bit more about the process. Suffice it to say, if you have any of these crimes on your record that are listed on this list, murder, rape, sexual abuse, firearms crimes, human trafficking, aggravated assault, child pornography, or distribution or sale of drugs, you are not going to be able to qualify for the bona fide determination. There may also be other situations if you just have a very complicated and tough criminal history, or even a complicated and tough immigration history, you might not qualify for a bona fide determination. USCIS retains discretion to determine who will get one of these. So if you do get a positive bona fide determination, you will get your work permit and your deferred action for 4 years. If you don't, then what's going to happen is they won't immediately necessarily deny your application, but they're going to just put you on the regular waitlist review that everyone else is on right now. That means they're going to put you in line for a more in-depth analysis of your case. And they're probably going to send you or your attorney request for more information, for an explanation about what happened, etc. Now, with the U visa, as I said, some of the provisions are much more generous in general than in other parts of the law. So we have had success with some clients who, for example, had a series of DWIs, many years ago, but who were able to demonstrate rehabilitation. We've been able to get U visas approved for people who had old drug-related crimes, as long as they haven't had anything else in the meantime. Not everyone will qualify for a U visa, but more people can technically qualify under the law than under many other parts of the immigration law. If you've already submitted an application with your U visa for a work permit, you don't need to submit another one now. These applications that have already been submitted and pending for many years, those are the ones that USCIS is now going to be reviewing and approving. If you have been waiting for a number of years since you submitted your application, since you got your fingerprints taken, and you know that you have an application already for a work permit on file, you don't need to do anything else. You should be receiving your work permit in the next few weeks. However, you definitely want to check to see if you have filed the form I-765, because USCIS has indicated that they want everybody who wants a work permit under this program to file a form I-765 under either C-14 category or under A-19 or A-20. At Walker Gates Fellow, we use the C-14 category applications to apply for work permits for people who have deferred action. And that is what I would recommend, so that you can distinguish from your work permit that you get when you get the U visa approved. But immigration has indicated that they will accept really any of these categories and adjudicate your work permit application as long as it's filed under one of these categories. The other great news with this announcement is that immigration is not going to charge any more fees for these work permit applications. When you submit your U visa application, the U visa application itself has no fee. What USCIS has indicated with this policy is that they're also not going to charge filing fees for bona fide work permits, bona fide determination work permits. They're calling them bona fide determination EADs. An EAD is an employment authorization document. So lots of words, lots of acronyms with USCIS, but suffice it to say that this is great news. For many who've been applying for U visas in the last several years, Trump got rid of a lot of exceptions to fees. They tried to institute higher fees. They got rid of fee waivers, and many of our clients were required to pay fees if they filed for these cases during the Trump administration. USCIS has indicated that they're not going to charge fees for initial work permit applications under this category, and they are reinstating the fee waiver program that was in effect previously. So if you are experiencing financial hardship, if you earn less than about 200% of the federal poverty guidelines and you're applying for a U visa, you may request a fee waiver. The waiver of inadmissibility that goes with the U visa program is called the I-192, and the fee for that application is about $930. So that's really one of the biggest expenses. Currently, the filing fees for a work permit are $410. If you end up renewing these bona fide work permits, you will need to pay the filing fee for the renewal. But for this initial filing, the Biden administration has indicated they are not going to be charging the $410 filing fee. And for the other fees associated with U visas, the fee exception application is going to be reinstated. It's going to be available again for applicants. all of this is great news. I know this is a lot of information. It's maybe a little confusing. If you have questions about this program, about the bona fide determination, or about eligibility for a UV in general, please feel free to reach out to us. You may call or text our main number at 512-633-1785. You can reach our calendar and schedule directly on our calendar through walkergatesvella.as.me/WGV, or just simply go to our website at walkergatesvella.com, where there is a button that you can click that says schedule a consultation. It takes you directly to our scheduling page, and you can get on our calendar there. I want to take a moment to congratulate and thank the clients who stood by us and worked with us, especially those who filed lawsuits with us. This courage and determination and willingness to fight for your rights has now resulted in benefits not only for you, but for all U-Visa applicants. These lawsuits were very expensive for the government, and the reason they were successful as they were was because they were, a really difficult pain for the government to deal with. Ultimately, they decided that changing the way that they adjudicate U-Visas was going to be a better approach to dealing with this problem than dealing with all of our lawsuits. And that's what we wanted all along. And we are so grateful to all of our clients who fought this fight with us and who were willing to stand up and file a lawsuit to enforce your rights. This has been a huge victory for all U-Visa applicants, and we're so grateful and appreciative. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us with any questions or concerns about your case or any other questions. Do subscribe. We're going to be publishing updates at least once a week on YouTube. So do hit that subscribe button and make sure you're staying up to date, and let us know if we can help you at all with your case. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a great day.